world is focused on integrity in action, the integrity of the vote, the integrity of a nation's security, and the integrity of global flight path threatened by unpredictable Earth. We examine a fragile truce in Sudan, an activist urgent call in Nigeria, and a volcano that has literally cast a shadow over international travel. This is the African News Update on Top Accolade News. The headlines: Egyptians cast votes in second phase of parliamentary elections. Barrick Mining and Mali reach agreement ending two-year mining disputes. EU-AU summit kicks off in Angola. Somali temporary protected status under scrutiny by US government. Egyptians voted on Monday in the second phase of parliamentary elections across 13 governorates with over 34 million eligible voters. The vote follows annulment of first phase results over alleged violations, prompting the president to order a review. A total of 568 seats are contested, split between 2,500 plus independent candidates and political parties, with 28 members appointed by the president. International observers are monitoring the process, and reruns are scheduled in 19 constituencies. While procedural flaws persist, Egyptians see the annulment as safeguarding the people's votes, highlighting that democracy depends on the integrity of its elections. From the ballot box in Cairo to the boardrooms of Bamako, Canadian miner Barrick Mining has reached an agreement with Mali's government to end dispute over the Loulo-Gounkoto gold complex that began in 2023 after changes in Mali's mining code increased taxes and state stakes. Barrick will drop its World Bank arbitration case, while Mali will withdraw charges, release employees, and return operational control. The settlement follows arrest, gold seizures, and months of suspended operations, restoring stability but highlighting how political tension can disrupt even major mining ventures. Partnership across continents shape the global stage in ways that no currency can match. The 7th EU-African Union Summit opened on Monday in Angola under the theme Promoting Peace and Prosperity Through Effective Multilateralism, marking 25 years of EU-AU partnership and 50 years of Angolan independence. Delegates discussed trade, peace, and security amid growing influence from Russia, China, and the US. Von der Leyen stressed Africa and Europe's mutual dependence, noting, in a more confrontational global economy, Africa and Europe need each other more than ever before. The summit highlighted that enduring partnership, not just power, shape global influence. And speaking of international partnerships, U.S. domestic policy is putting Somali immigrants under scrutiny. The U.S. announced on Sunday it will evaluate temporary protected status for Somali nationals, a program protecting immigrants from deportation for over 30 years. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem stressed TPS was meant as a temporary measure, while President Trump vowed to revoke protection for Somalis in Minnesota, sparking fears in the nation's largest Somali community. Legal experts and leaders said the move lacks clear authority and could inflame Islamophobic sentiment. With only 705 Somalis nationwide holding TPS, advocacy groups call the review a politically motivated attack, highlighting how protective policies can be weaponized against vulnerable communities. You're watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. The impact of nature transcends all political borders. Ethiopia's dormant Hayli Gubbi volcano erupted on Sunday, sending ash across the Red Sea, Oman, Yemen, and northern India, reaching Delhi. Several flights, including Air India and IndiGo, were cancelled or rerouted as authorities warned pilots to avoid ash zones. The cloud, at 8.5 to 15 kilometer altitude, could disrupt satellite and flight, but is unlikely to worsen Delhi's poor air condition. Experts warn volcanic ash is highly abrasive and hazardous to aircraft, recalling Europe's 2010 air travel disruption. From the sky to the ground, a tentative break in the brutal violence consuming Sudan. Sudan's Rapid Support Forces announced late Monday a 3-month humanitarian ceasefire following international pressure led by the US, UAE, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. RSF leader General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo framed the truce as a response to global diplomatic efforts, despite Sudan's army chief rejecting the plan and criticizing the UAE's role as mediator. The war, which erupted in April 2023 over the integration of Sudan's army and paramilitary forces, has killed tens of thousands, caused widespread famine, and fueled accusation of genocide against the RSF. While the ceasefire offers a glimmer of hope, the fragile truce underscores a grim reality that in Sudan, peace is pursued not in the halls of diplomacy, but in the shadows of relentless violence. The call for accountability echoes loudly in Nigeria. Nigerian musician and activist Folarin Falana, popularly known as Falz, has urged citizens to demand a public hearing on the federal government's failure to properly equip the military despite large annual budgets for arms and ammunition. Speaking about the country's worsening security situation, he called for coordinated emails, calls, and social media campaigns to pressure lawmakers and suggested the hearing be broadcast live for transparency. Falz highlighted incidents of ambushed military convoys and the murder of an army general as evidence of systemic weaknesses, stressing the need for urgent action. His call underscores a growing public frustration with governance. Finally, a national push for integrity on the pitch. The Nigerian Football Federation is restructuring the Super Eagles squad ahead of the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco, prioritizing players with strong clubs form, fitness, and commitment after Nigeria missed the 2026 World Cup. The head coach will meet NFF officials in Abuja to finalize the squad before the training camp opens on December 10th. Nigeria will face Tanzania, Tunisia, and Uganda from December 23rd. The headline today proved that whether it is a politician under investigation or a nation fighting for its right to a fair vote, the pursuit of integrity and accountability remains the most challenging story of our time. I'm Ojarumi Okocha, and this is the African News Update on Top Accolade News, keeping you connected to the pulse of the continent.